recording set code.
Okay.
Okay.
Start.
Okay.
Start.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Sudhanshu. Good
Welcome
evening.
all of you. As a host, I am welcoming all of you, all the
Thank you.
participants, the guest speaker, everyone. My friend Deepak. Carry on.
Okay. Thank you, Sudhanshu. So this is a very important day. Today is a very, very important day because not only as an Odia, also as Indians, we should be proud of this day. On this day, as we know, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose was born in this city. So that's a very, very important day. And the good news is that our Katak boy is going to be on the Raisana Hills after some time. But the bad news is this, that his birthplace museum is in a shabby state. It's not being maintained properly. And unfortunately, as heritage enthusiasts, we must admit that the Netaji connection has not been documented properly, especially his Odisha connection. And this is something in which I think Professor can help us, and others who are serious about this can help us. And the Katak Connect and the Odisha Connect are to be documented for us and for the future generations, obviously. So this is a very important thing we must pay attention to. We have got reasons to feel happy about it. Last year, we had done something called retracing Netaji's footsteps. We went to Jankinath Bhavan. From there, we went to Katak Street School. Then from there to Ravenshaw College School. And we wandered up the trip at Ras Bihari Mutt, located near the Karjodi riverfront. So that, in a sense, tried to sketch the evolution of the personality of Netaji, especially during his most formative years. When you are in school, and the psychologists and sociologists, all of them agree that most of your personality is formed during that phase. So Netaji had spent around 18 years in this city, but somehow or other, it has not got the kind of attention as it deserves. And I think we have a duty towards it. We have to try our bit and try to ensure that the weakness is taken care of. So that's about the weakness, but the strength is obviously the fact that Netaji was born here. And there is one book by that name by Mr. Raja Parija, Sri Raja Parija. He has done a comfortable book on this. But a lot of things are to be added to what work he has done. So I think we can take the help of learned academicians like Professor Mishra and try to take care of the snack which is there. So with this, I would like to welcome Professor Umakanata Mishra. He's an authority on Vajrayana Buddhism, and I'm not going to speak a word on Vajrayana Buddhism for two reasons. One, I don't know much about it. Second, when Professor Mishra is around, he is going to do it. So I should only listen to him. And he's a distinguished scholar. He has been associated with several projects of Oxford University and University of Birmingham, and also German University, Tubingen University, and he has got published. He has published works also on Vajrayana Buddhism, Study in Social Iconography. That was published in 2009 in New Delhi. So he is working on several papers and is a very serious person, and I've been in touch with him for quite some time. And it's really our good luck that he, in spite of his personal as well as organizational problems, has agreed to be with us this evening, and is going to speak on a topic which is very close to his heart. So without wasting further words and time, I'd like to request Professor Mishra to start his presentation. Professor Mishra.
Thank you so much, sir. Good evening, namaskar. I greet all of you on the occasion of Netaji's Jayanti, and I'll be making a PowerPoint presentations on Buddhism in Odisha with special focus on Vajrayana Buddhism. And if you have any questions, and that would take you to the diversity of Odisha's religious processes and religious lives. And Buddhism has special connection with Odisha. It is perhaps one of the only region in India, which had the earliest connections as well as latest connection. Before the emergence of Neo-Buddhism or Navanaya of Ambedkar, or leave aside the Himalayan kingdom where Buddhism came from Tibetan side, Odisha is one region which has, as I told you, the earliest as well as latest connection, long continuity of Buddhism and its presence in Odisha. And but let me start with a caveat. And the caveat is that Buddhism is not what Buddha taught only. You might, I am referring to one book of many books of which Gregory Chopin, one of the distinguished Buddhologists today in American universities, and what he tried to show is that even in early Buddhism, forget about 2nd century BC onward Buddhism continued in India for about, let's say, 1200 plus 600 years or 500 years. And leave aside the period of Mahayana Buddhism onward, even in early Buddhism, we have many epigraphic evidence that Gregory Chopin has shown that shows that Buddhists themselves practice which are not in accordance with canonical Buddhism, that is there in Tripitaka. For example, monks worship relics. Later on, when Weber wrote, Weber said that medieval landlordism with reference to huge lands that Nalanda Mahavihara had, which is against, again, Buddhist canons. Therefore, Buddhism is not what Buddha supposedly taught. Why supposedly? Because the teaching of Buddha was finally compiled in Anuradhapura in 2nd century BC, in the time of Uttagamini. Therefore, there is a lag between Buddha's death and its final compilation of Tripitaka. But that doesn't mean that the earlier traditions of Buddhist teaching was something not there. It was there from Bhabru Edict, for example, of Ashoka. We can clearly say that, thus said, in Bhabru Edict, for example, is clearly borrowed from Buddhist canons. Therefore, we have teachings of Buddha's rightly after Buddha's time, which was memorized because we have our oral traditions. With this caveat, therefore, I'll take you through the multicultural experience of South Asian religious life. Religion, it's very difficult to characterize what is defined religion. One of the major scholars says that you need to take religion as part of culture and therefore treat it as such. Therefore, I'll be treating Buddhism as part of South Asian cultural processes and try to locate within the cultural matrix of South Asia. And as you know, Buddhism evolved through centuries. And in Odisha, for example, I'll take you through about 1200 plus 400, 1600 years of history. But before I do so, I also am thankful to the Court of Heritage work and the title of it. The title is Chai Pe Charcha, and the very fact that it is associated, I believe now it is visible, and therefore I can go through the presentations. The very fact that it is Chai Pe Charcha brings me to the days of French Revolution. Habermas later on in 1960s talked about the making of the public culture in modern Europe. But one of the sites where the public space was created is the site of cafeteria and chai. And therefore, the title is appropriate. It is over the cup of tea. Now, not only revolutions broke out. It's also because of the fact that chai also provides an opportunity, the site for developing a public space, a public culture, and in that sense, chai has a special place. This is one of the picture. This is from cafeteria on Palais Royal in Paris. This is a picture from 1792, I believe, where there are discussions on the public issues of the day in the cafeteria. But now we are living in the age of metaverse. Facebook has been renamed as metaverse. Therefore, we'll be transporting ourselves in near future to the 3D world. But whether serious public discussion with 3D experiences is possible in this age of populism is a great question that needs to be discussed later on. But having said that, let me go back to this. As I told you, Odisha is one of the sites. I believe this is visible. As I told you, it has the longest survival. It's the only region in India which has the longest survival of Buddhism. Lama Taranath, in his book in 1608, talks about the repair of some of the monasteries by Mukunda Deva, who is known as Telenga Mukunda, and also from 1871 onwards, 1881 onward, we have the census report which says that there are two pockets of Buddhist. One is in Pipli pocket, about 6 villages, and the other is in Maniamandha pocket in Cuttack district, which has yielded about 1833 people who claim themselves to be Buddhist. You know about the Maniamandha Sabakatantis. Sabakatanti is a corruption of Sravaka. There are 3 kinds of Buddhist. One is Upasaka, which is a kind of lay disciple. Sravaka, also a kind of lay disciple. Then we have the monks and the nuns. Therefore, we have several categories of Buddhist. Even though Buddhism tried to present itself as a monastic religion, it is not. It has got the wider support base from the people who not only adhered to the religion, they also supported the institutional structure of Sangha. Therefore, we have evidence, both ethnographic as well as census reports, which says that we have the Sabakatantis or the Buddhists present in 19th century. But the earliest evidence, is also from let me tell you, the earliest is from Mahabhaga. Mahabhaga, which is the Mahabhaga Prathama Khandaka, which is part of the Vinaya Pitaka, which says that Tapasu and Bhallika, 2 of the merchants, just after the enlightenment of Buddha, became the disciple of Buddha, and they gave Buddha Madhupindaka, and Buddha in return gave his hair, which they took as relic, Sarira Dhatu, and made a stupa called Kesa Stupa in Majjhima Desha. That's what written in Pratham Khandaka Mahabhaga. Majjhima, about the geography of India, the old text was very cagey, very confusing. Therefore, it's very difficult to, even though Majjhima Desha is largely the middle part of India, the Gangetic Valley, that's what it says. But it says that Tapusa Vallikabha Ukkala Desha. Ukkala Desha has generally been identified with Utkala, but there is also a different opinion about the location of Ukkala. But nevertheless, Utkala has generally been identified with This made Odishan archaeologists, historians to go for sensationalism, and it could be Odisha, it could be the coastal Odisha, which is Utkala, but the evidence so far has there been no evidence except Mahabhaga, but later on, like the right from Chakradhar Mahapatra's time, there has been attempt to identify Kapileswara Gaon with the birthplace of Buddha. Similarly, there has been attempt to forge data to substantiate or to reinforce this literary evidence of Kesathuppa and Utkala in Odisha, and we have been opposing this, and let me tell you why is this, because this is written, as you could see, this is Kapileswara inscription, which is lost today. Of a replica has been made and is now in Odisha State Museum. Therefore, it has been a legitimized by the state government to believe and to state that this inscription is actually a true inscription, which has long been disposed of as a spurious one, but it has found a place somehow in the Odisha Museum that has a different history. I don't have time to make a presentation. Maybe in later time I'll do so. The journey of these spurious inscriptions and the implication thereof in understanding the cultural politics. But this is from Deoli Hills, and this is K Brahmika. It's very easy to write Brahmi, but the more important, this is Thu, Ukar, and this is Pa. So this is Kesathuppa in Deoli Hills. But the point that I want to make is that there was no patinations when the earliest photograph was presented to the public. If there was no patination, we could easily say that this has been chiseled down very recently, because there is no patinations on the groups of these Brahmi letters. Therefore, we dismissed it to be a spurious one, and but that doesn't mean that, as I told you, Odisha has a very rich evidence of Buddhism of various hues, and that I'll take you through. And now let me also, while doing the presentation, tell you the overall structure. And the overall structure is not on the basis of my theoretical understanding of Buddhism and its journey in Odisha. It is on the basis of a text which was written in 10th century AD by Vajrasangraha. Adavaya Vajrasangraha's Tattva Ratnavali section. This is the diagrammatic representations of Adavaya Vajrasangraha's Tattva Ratnavali sections. This was edited by Haraprasad Sastri in 1927, published from Gaikwad Oriental series. According to Tattva Ratnavali sections, Buddhism is one religion. Therefore, there are much in early historiography. For example, one of the reasons which is given for the decline of Buddhism is the corruption in Buddhism, that Buddhism went away from the teachings of Buddha. Therefore, there is a vast difference between early Buddhism and Vajrayana Buddhism, which has been regarded as a corruptions, as an imitations of Hinduism, and therefore, after the decline of royal patronage, Buddhism declined. This is the general historiographical trajectory, which from the very beginning I'm contesting, and I'll be taking you through the hard archaeological and epigraphic early evidence to say that right from its long history, Buddhism conceptualized itself as Ekayana. And therefore, we have different strands, not that it has only strand, or this strand is not different from the latest strand of Vajrayana or Mahayana, but they say that it is one yana. Theravada Buddhism, or Hinayana as it is called by the Mahayanist, consists of three parts. Sravakayana, which is our way, that is disciples' way. Upasaka and Shravakas can follow this. Then it talks about Pratyeka Buddha. Therefore, the early Buddhism and Buddhism that was there in early period of Buddhism history, we have Sravakayana, we have Pratyeka Buddha. Enlightenment for oneself. One becomes Buddha, attains Nirvana and becomes Buddha. And then we have the Arhatayanas. These three strands consist of Sthaviravada or Theravada. And around 2nd century BC, there are multiple strands of it. Buddhism was divided into this Sravakayana, this Sthaviravada or Theravada Buddhism was divided into 18 sects. Therefore, even in early Buddhism, there are differences. And according to Tattva Ratnavali, there are three major strands of early Buddhism. One is Sravakayana Buddhism, Pratyeka Buddhayana, and Arhata. It says that this is Theravada or Hinayana, and then there is Mahayana. By the time we come to 2nd century, 1st century BC, emphasis was on paramitas, following the Saparamitas. It is about devotion, grace. Sanskrit replaced Pali. There are multiple shifts that occurred with the emergence of Mahayana, and they say that this goal of attaining nirvana for oneself, becoming a Buddha for oneself, is a very selfish goal. When there is so much misery in the world, why do you pursue? Please, somebody is writing.
Okay. Please stop that.
Therefore, there are somebody is writing something.
So you stop that. You can stop that.
How do I do that?
You have to go for that. What is that?
अरे जब जूम चलाया नहीं आता तो चलाते क्यों हो मीटिंग?
Sir, I have a doubt.
Annotate. Clear.
This link been shared, I guess, to a common
kick him
platform.
out.
Stop
Yeah.
annotation.
Can you remove him from the?
We can
I
go
think
for stop annotation.
Yes, I am doing.
And also, please take the control from the organizer, who is the host.
Yeah,
Please
yeah.
restrict it to yourself.
Okay.
Again, please do not annotate. Someone is annotating.
Okay.
Ashwat, are you there?
Yeah. Please, sir.
Can you
आपको ये
just
कर
take
दें
the
तो remove कर दें तो.
Because someone
How-
is doing some nonsense. It's okay. I think probably you have to close this one, and somebody still have this right to.
Yes, sir.
You cannot identify those people. Probably you have to close this
Yes,
and
sir.
start again. Close this meeting and start again with the rights reserved to the
Yes, sir,
host.
I'm closing it. We
Yeah.
will start a new meeting.
तेरी अब्बू की लिंडी में खेला मिलेगा, हमसे भिड़े का जमेला मिलेगा, अपना खेला मिलेगा.
It's a live, so kindly, the host, can you close the meeting?
Yes, sir, wait a minute, I'm closing it.
Please. I don't know who is answering that even.
अरे छपरी यूट्यूबर कान खोल के सुन ले, ओ मिश्रा.
Hi, this is iPhone.
Just hold on. Who will be doing? Just. Just wait. Umakanata खोलंतु. You open and say Puni लिखिलेनी. So How can I stop annotating?
କରୁଛି ମୁଁ କିନ୍ତୁ annotate
Stop annotating. How can I do that?
clear all drawing, clear viewers drawing. से तो बारंबार सर
अच्छा शुणु मु आपण छाड़ दियंतु वर्तमान गोटे काम करंतु आपण छाड़ दियंतु स्क्रीन छाड़ दियंतु मते स्टॉप शेयरिंग आई विल स्टॉप एनोटेटर आपण स्क्रीन छाड़ दियंतु
स्क्रीन बंद करू सर जस्ट वेट हां
बंद कले
यू कैन स्टार्ट स्क्रीन शेयर
हां मु वर्तमान डिसेबल कर देबी मु वर्तमान डिसेबल कर देबी
So you cannot start screen share कोचिकली
ना मु डिसेबल कर दोज रहिथन ओके वर्तमान मु डिसेबल कर देली हैला वर्तमान मु
आउ थरे सर लीव करी कि आउ थरे करूछ
हां क्लियर ऑल ड्राइंग वर्तमान आरंभ करंतु से आउ करि परिबनी मु बंद कर देली ओके आपण आउ थरे स्क्रीन शेयर करंतु
You cannot start screen share coach while the other participant is sharing. Somebody else is sharing.
Okay. ना बंद कर दो पड़ियो
सर
मु सेटा करि पारुनी आपण कहंतु खाली ऑल पार्टिसिपेंट्स कला बेलू को से अन्य माने समस्त शेयर करचंती माने सम मिस्चिफ मंगर इज आल्सो शेयरिंग द स्क्रीन बुझले तो मो पाखरे ऑप्शन अछि ओनली होस्ट ऑल पार्टिसिपेंट्स करथिले आपण करूथिले किंतु तार एडवांटेज अन्य मिस्चिफ मंगरिंग पार्टिसिपेंट नौचंती सो आपण कहंतु ताले बेटर होबा आपण कहंतु राइट आर यू एबल टू हियर मी आपण कहंतु मु खोल दोची ए भलिया जिंस कबे आमे दीपक आमे वी डिडंट फेस मु खोल दोची हाँ वर्तमान खोलंतु
stop the meeting. People still are there, they will come, so please stop the meeting and start again and share the link to the restricted people and allow somebody who can admin. Give the rights to only the people who can admin. Don't share the public platform. They're still there. Close the meeting. I'll take you to close. आपण टिके बंद कर दियो
ला 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 लोरी
हालांकि आपण बंद करके पुणे आउट स्ट्रीम करियो